Hello, all of you, attend the class, join the class. All of you join, only 6 students joined so far. Hello, all of you join. So those who have joined, ask your friends to join. Please send a WhatsApp message to other classmates. Hello, only 17 students joined. What about other students? So those who have joined, please inform your friends to join immediately through WhatsApp. Give a WhatsApp message to your classmates because my WhatsApp is not working. Okay, now it is worked. Hello, all of you join. Hello? Okay. In the last class, so I have given NTU method, effectiveness of heat exchanger. How do you calculate effectiveness of heat exchanger? Heat exchanger? Actual heat transfer with the available heat exchanger to the maximum possible heat transfer rate. Actual heat transfer to the maximum possible heat transfer rate. When there will be maximum possible heat transfer rate? When the temperature difference Okay. Sorry for the power failure disruption. Sorry for the inconvenience caused to you. Now power came. I am resuming now. So yes, in the last class I given NTU method of the heat exchanger effectiveness. So actually transfer with the available heat exchanger to the maximum possible heat transfer rate. When the maximum possible heat transfer rate occurs when the temperature difference is maximum. At the same time, heat capacity minimum. That's why maximum heat transfer rate Q max is equal to C minimum into maximum temperature difference. For a parallel flow heat exchanger, that will be TH1 minus TC1. Maximum heat transfer rate is C minimum into TH1 minus TC1. Okay, na? So effectiveness is actually heat transfer rate to the maximum possible heat transfer rate. And so today we'll solve some problems on this heat exchangers. Heat exchangers. All of you join, only 27 students join now. What about okay na? Now so today we'll discuss some problems on this heat exchangers. So all of you read the first problem. A refrigerator is designed to cool 250 kg per hour of hot liquid of specific heat 3350 joule per kg Kelvin at 120 degrees centigrade. So hot fluid temperature, inlet temperature 120 degrees centigrade. Using that is TH1 is 120 degrees centigrade. And the specific heat of the hot fluid, that is CPH 3350. And mass flow rate of the hot fluid 250 kg per hour. So 120 degrees centigrade, the TH1 temperature hot fluid at the inlet 120 degrees centigrade, and here the arrangement is parallel flow arrangement. So parallel flow heat exchanger. And now what is the cold fluid here? Cooling water. Hot fluid is hot liquid and cold fluid cooling water. So mass flow rate, and then 1000 kg per hour of cooling water is available for cooling purpose at a temperature of 10 degrees centigrade. So cooling fluid or cold fluid mass flow rate mc dot 1000 kg per hour, and the temperature at the inlet, the TC1, temperature at the inlet of the heat exchanger for the cold fluid, TC1, temperature cold fluid at the inlet 10 degrees centigrade. If the overall heat transfer coefficient is 1160 watt per meter square Kelvin, if the overall heat transfer coefficient is 1160 watt per meter square Kelvin. So U value, overall heat transfer coefficient 1160 watt per meter square Kelvin, and surface area of the heat exchanger is 0.2 meter square. That is area 0.2 meter square. Calculate the outlet temperature of the cold liquid as well as cooled liquid. The hot liquid becomes cooled one. That's why. So outlet temperature of the hot liquid and outlet temperature of the cold liquid or cold fluid. And also you have to calculate effectiveness of the heat exchanger. Effectiveness of the heat exchanger. For this, so if you use the NTU method, effectiveness 1 minus, for parallel flow heat exchanger, 1 minus exponential of minus NTU, that is U by, how do you calculate NTU? UA, U into A by C minimum, minus NTU. What is NTU? Number of transfer units. Number of transfer units. Into 1 plus C minimum by C max divided by 1 plus C minimum by C max. So how do you calculate C minimum, C max? Yesterday I given in the last class. That's why heat capacity rates of the hot fluid, heat capacity of the cold fluid. First we have to calculate. So heat capacity is capital CH, capital C. Heat capacity, H for hot fluid. So hot fluid, capital CH. Heat capacity of the hot fluid, capital C. How do you calculate heat capacity? Mass flow rate into specific heat, M dot H into small c ch here. This is M dot H, mass flow rate of the hot fluid. Small ch, specific heat of the hot fluid. So heat capacity of the hot fluid is equal to mass into specific heat. That is equal to mass flow rate of the hot fluid. How much he has given? 250 kg per hour. But generally you require in kg per second. That's why you have to convert 250 kg per hour into kg per second. That's why 250 divided by 3600. Then you will get a mass flow rate in second into specific heat of the hot fluid. So here given hot liquid specific heat 3350. Substitute that value here. That's why. So heat capacity of the hot fluid, by multiplying the mass flow rate with specific heat, you will be getting heat capacity of the hot fluid. Then that is 250 into 3350 divided by 3600. So from that calculation, you will be getting heat capacity of the hot liquid 232.63 watt per Kelvin. If you get the units for this, that will be watt per Kelvin. And similarly, heat capacity of the cold fluid, that is here in this example, water. Heat capacity of the cold fluid. So, heat capacity of the cold fluid, heat capacity capital C, heat capacity, small c for cold fluid. So capital CC is equal to heat capacity of the cold fluid is equal to mass of the cold fluid into specific heat of the cold fluid. Mass of the cold fluid into specific heat of the cold fluid. Here cold fluid water. That's why what is the mass flow rate of water? That is 1000 kg per hour of cooling water is flowing. That's why mass flow rate 1000 kg per hour. But you have to convert it into kg per second. That's why 1000 divided by 3600 into specific heat of water. That is 4.6 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. That you have to remember, or you have to take from the data book, heat transfer data book. That is constant. So specific heat of the water. So that should be remembered. 4600 joule per kg Kelvin or 4.6 kilojoules per kg Kelvin for water specific heat. That is to be remembered, or you have to take from that value from the data book. So if you calculate, so heat capacity of the cold fluid by multiplying 1000 with 4600 divided by 3600, you will be getting heat capacity of the cold fluid. Here in this example, water, heat capacity of water is 1162.77 watt per Kelvin. So after getting the heat capacity of the cold fluid, heat capacity of the hot fluid, we have to verify whether the hot fluid is giving minimum value or cold fluid is giving minimum value. Then that minimum value is our C minimum. So C minimum, that is heat capacity of the minimum fluid. What is the minimum fluid here? Hot fluid heat capacity value low when compared with cold fluid. That's why heat capacity of the hot fluid, capital CH, is the C minimum. That's why that is equal to, out of these two, you have to take the minimum value. That is C minimum, capital C minimum, heat capacity. That is equal to capital CH, here CH. That is 232.16 watt per Kelvin. Then in our effectiveness formula, that is C minimum by C max. That's why first calculate C minimum by C max. C minimum by C max, that is equal to C minimum value 232.63 divided by C maximum value, here this is 1162.77. 232.60 divided by 1162.77. That value will be around 0.2. C minimum and C maximum value will be around 0.2. Therefore, the number of transfer units, NTU, the number of transfer units, NTU, number of transfer units is equal to, how do you calculate? In the last class I have given, U into A divided by C minimum. Overall heat transfer coefficient, area divided by C minimum, capital C minimum. So overall heat transfer coefficient in the problem given as 1160 watt per meter square Kelvin. Units of overall heat transfer coefficient same as that of the convective heat transfer coefficient. Remember, overall heat transfer coefficient units watt per meter square Kelvin. So U 1160 into area. What is the area given? 0.2. 0.2 only. By mistake I given 0.25. 0.2 only. 1160 into 0.2 divided by, what is the C minimum value? 232.63. 232.63. From that, the NTU will be coming as number of transfer units. After calculation of this, you will be getting 1.25. So per parallel flow heat exchanger, how do we calculate epsilon? That is effectiveness of the heat exchanger. You can represent or denote effectiveness of the heat exchanger with the epsilon. Epsilon. So epsilon is equal to 1 minus exponential of minus NTU into 1 plus C minimum by C max, capital C here, capital C, heat capacity. C minimum by C max divided by 1 plus C minimum by C max. That is equal to 1 minus exponential function of, what is the NTU value? NTU, number of transfer units, NTU. That is equal to 1.25. So substitute that value here, minus 1.25 into 1 plus C min by C max. You are getting it as 0.2. 1 plus 0.2 divided by 1 plus 0.2. And you are getting the epsilon, the effectiveness of the heat exchanger, 0.646. Effectiveness of the heat exchanger. Here in this example, you are getting the value as 0.646. Once you know the effectiveness, you can calculate the actual heat transfer rate, actual rate of heat transfer. How do you define effectiveness? Effectiveness epsilon is equal to Q actual by Q max. From that, if you want to calculate actual heat transfer, you have to multiply the effectiveness with the Q max. That's why in order to calculate actual heat transfer rate, because that is required to calculate outlet temperature of the hot liquid, outlet temperature of the cold liquid. That is TH2 and TC2. TH2, outlet temperature of hot fluid. TC2, outlet temperature of cold fluid. In order to calculate that one, you require actual heat transfer rate within the given heat exchanger. For that, you require actual heat transfer rate. But how do you calculate actual heat transfer rate? All of you listen very carefully. All of you listen very carefully. How do you calculate actual heat transfer rate? With the help of the epsilon, with the help of the effectiveness. Effectiveness is equal to basic formula Q actual by Q max. From that, actual heat transfer rate, actual rate of heat transfer or actual heat transfer rate, Q actual is equal to effectiveness into Q max. That's why for that you require Q max. First calculate maximum heat transfer rate. Q max means maximum heat transfer rate. But how do you calculate maximum heat transfer rate? From basic definition of the heat exchanger, from the NTU method, C minimum, that is capital C. C minimum into TH1 minus TC1. What is C minimum here? Heat capacity of the minimum fluid. Into what is TH1? Inlet temperature of the hot fluid. What is TC1? Inlet temperature of the cold fluid. So C minimum, heat capacity of the minimum fluid here, C minimum you calculated, that is capital CH, 232.63. So C minimum into TH1 minus TC1. So here C minimum 232.63 and TH1 here inlet temperature of the hot fluid, inlet temperature of the hot fluid 120 degrees centigrade. So TH1 120 degrees. What is TC1? Inlet temperature of the cold fluid. So here water, cold fluid. Water is our cold fluid. Water is at a temperature of 10 degrees centigrade. So inlet temperature 10 degrees centigrade. After heating, this temperature may increase. That's why inlet temperature of the TC1, cold fluid. TC1, inlet temperature of the cold fluid. In degrees centigrade 10. That's why if you calculate 232.63 into 120 minus 10, that is 110. 232.63 into 110, you'll be getting the maximum heat transfer rate, Q max. Maximum heat transfer rate is equal to 25,589.3 watts. 25,589.3 watts. Okay, na? So from that, once you got the maximum heat transfer rate, Then calculate actual rate of heat transfer from the effectiveness formula. Q actual is equal to effectiveness epsilon into Q max. So effectiveness 0.646. Okay, 0.646 or 0.645 into Q maximum value 25,589.3. From that, you'll be getting the actual rate of heat transfer 16,530 watts. 16,530 watts, or in kilowatts 16.53 kilowatts. Actual rate of heat transfer 16.53 kilowatts. So in order to calculate the what first we have to calculate, what is the first bit? Okay, if effectiveness calculated, that is 0.646. Already that is 0.646. And you have to calculate the outlet temperature, cold water, that liquid, cooling water, hot liquid, and outlet temperature, cold liquid. That is outlet temperature, the cooling water, outlet temperature, the hot liquid. So first we will calculate outlet temperature, cooling water. But how do you calculate heat transfer, actual heat transfer rate? Mass into specific into TC2. That is heat transfer, heat picked up by the cold water or cold liquid. Mass into specific heat into outlet temperature of the cold water minus inlet temperature of the cold liquid. That is MC into CC into TC2 minus TC1. That is equal to capital CC. That is heat capacity of the cold fluid into TC2 minus TC1. So actually transfer rate, just now you have calculated, the 16,530 watts. That is equal to, what is the capital CC? Here, capital CC, heat capacity of the cold fluid, 1162.77. That's why, so capital CC, heat capacity of cold fluid, 1162.67 into TC2, outlet temperature of the cold water, that is to be calculated. TC2 minus inlet temperature cold water given as 10 degrees centigrade. Then you will get the TC2 in degrees centigrade only. Therefore, outlet temperature of the cold water, that is TC2 or TCO for outlet. TC2 or TCO, outlet temperature of the water, cold fluid. TC2 only, this is TC2 only, or TCO, outlet temperature of the cold water. That is equal to this one from the 16,530 divided by 1162.67 plus 10 you have to add. Then you are getting the outlet temperature of the cold water, TC2, 24.22 degrees centigrade. Similarly, you can calculate TH2, TH2, outlet temperature of the hot liquid. Outlet temperature. For that, Q, actually transfer Q is equal to capital CH into TH1 minus TH2. Here TH1 is greater than TH2. That's why capital CH, that is heat capacity of hot fluid, into TH1 minus TH2. Okay, actually heat transfer rate same. Heat given by the hot fluid is equal to heat taken over by the cold fluid. The heat actually transfer rate same for with respect to the heat given by the hot fluid. The 16,530 is equal to capital CH, heat capacity of the hot fluid, capital CH, that is 232.63. So 232.63 into TH1, 120 degrees centigrade, TH1, 120 degrees centigrade, 120 minus TH2. Then you'll get the outlet temperature of the hot fluid. That therefore TH2 is equal to 120 plus 120 minus 16,530 divided by 232.63. From this, outlet temperature hot water, 48, this is 48 point only, 48.94 degrees centigrade. Outlet temperature of the hot liquid, TH2, outlet, this is equal to only, is equal to 48.94 degrees centigrade. Like that, problems are very easy if you know the concept and if you remember the formula and if you have practiced number of problems, then it will be very easy to answer any type of problem under this heat transfer. But the only thing is you have to know the concept. Okay, na? Now, so second problem. Water enters a counterflow double pipe heat exchanger. Sometimes there is single pipe heat exchanger. Sometimes there is double pipe heat exchanger. Water enters a counterflow. Here counterflow heat exchanger at 15 degrees centigrade. Water inlet temperature TC1 15 degrees centigrade. Flowing at the rate of 1300 kg per hour. Mass flow rate of water 1300 kg per hour. Kg per hour. You have to convert kg per second. 1300 divided by 3600. And is heated by oil. Here hot fluid is oil of specific heat 2000 joule per kg Kelvin. So cold water is heated by hot oil. Heated by oil. So hot fluid is oil here. Cold fluid is water here. So hot fluid specific heat 2000 joule per kg Kelvin. And hot fluid flowing at the rate of 550 kg per hour. Hot fluid flowing at the rate of 550 kg per hour. You have to convert in kg per second. From an inlet temperature of hot fluid inlet of TH1, hot fluid inlet temperature 94 degrees centigrade. Inlet temperature of 94 degrees centigrade. For an area of 1 meter square. So heat exchanger surface area A, area 1 meter square. 1 meter square. Area 1 meter square. And overall heat transfer coefficient 1075. 1075 watt per meter square Kelvin. Watt per meter square Kelvin. Determine the total heat transfer rate, the actual heat transfer. Actual heat transfer rate and the outlet temperature of water and oil. That is same as the earlier problem. But here again you have to calculate the actual heat transfer rate and outlet temperature of water, cold fluid, and outlet temperature of hot fluid. That is TC2 to be calculated, TH2 to be calculated, TC2, TH2. So heat capacities here, just like earlier problem also you have to calculate heat capacity rates of cold water and hot fluid oil. So cold fluid water. So heat capacities of water, capital CC. How do you calculate? M mass into specific heat. M for mass, C for specific heat. M into C, mass of the cold fluid into specific heat of the cold fluid. That is equal to, what is the mass of the cold fluid? Mass of the water 1300 kg per hour. So that is equal to 1300, that is kg per hour. You have to convert kg per second. That's why 1300 divided by 3600. 3006 into, so for this water, sometimes 4.2, sometimes 4. So depend upon the available values. That's generally 4.2 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. Water specific heat. In joules, 4,100, 4.1 or 4,200 or 4,186. So if you calculate 1511.61, 1511.61 watt per Kelvin heat capacity of the cold fluid. Similar heat capacity of the hot fluid, oil, that is capital CH. How do you calculate? Mass of the hot fluid into specific heat of the hot fluid, M into C. That is equal to mass of the hot fluid, oil here. Hot fluid is oil. That is 550 kg per hour. But you have to convert into kg per second. That's 550 divided by 3600. That will be in kg per second into specific heat of the Oil, he has given the specific heat of the oil as 2000 joule per kg Kelvin. That's why into 2000. Then you are getting the heat capacity of the hot fluid 305.55 watt per Kelvin. So out of this verify which is giving the minimum. So in here also hot fluid is giving the minimum heat capacity. That's why therefore C minimum heat capacity minimum is equal to, that is with respect to hot fluid, that is CH, capital CH, that is equal to 305.55 watt per Kelvin. Yeah, that is earlier problem. Here also you can calculate C minimum by C max. C min by C max. That is equal to C minimum 305.55 divided by C max, or the maximum value here 1511.61. That is equal to, if you calculate C minimum by C max, that's 0.2. Therefore, NTU, number of transfer units. How do we calculate in this effectiveness method? NTU, U into A divided by C minimum. That is equal to U value given as 1075. 1075 into area meter 1 meter square 1 to 1 divided by C minimum value 305.55. From that calculation, you will be getting number of transfer units, that is equal to 3.52. 3.52. From the charts. So here, again you have to calculate epsilon, effectiveness, but sometimes you can calculate the effectiveness directly. Sometimes you can get the effectiveness from the heat exchanger charts also. From the NTU method, they are readily available. Charts are readily available from the heat transfer data book. So from the heat transfer data book charts, for a given value, for calculated value of NTU 3.52 and C minimum by C max, C minimum by C max is equal to 0.2. C minimum C max is equal to 0.2. That is calculated. So for calculated values of NTU 3.52 and C minimum C maximum value of 0.2 from the charts, you can directly getting the epsilon value, effectiveness value, effective epsilon is equal to 0.94. So here sometimes the data is readily available, you can calculate epsilon by using Q actual by Q max. But if data is not available, you can get the effectiveness value from the charts also. So charts are also available from the heat and mass transfer data book for heat exchangers. If you observe the data book, so there are some charts are available for calculated value of 3.52 of NTU and for calculated value of C minimum C max 0.2. From this, you will getting the from the charts. How I am taken this value epsilon effectiveness 0.94 from the charts. Okay, now once you got the effectiveness, you can calculate Q actual by multiplying the effectiveness with the Q max. That's why first again you have to calculate maximum heat transfer rate Q max. Q max is equal to maximum heat transfer rate Q max is equal to C minimum TH1 minus TC1. Maximum heat transfer rate Q max is equal to capital C minimum, capital C, that is heat capacity of the minimum fluid, that is C minimum, into TH1 minus TC1, temperature hot fluid at the inlet minus temperature cold fluid at the inlet, TH1 minus TC1. So C minimum already calculated 305.55. So 305.55 into TH1, temperature of the hot fluid at the inlet 94 degrees centigrade given. That is 94 minus TC1. temperature of the cold fluid at the inlet. So here water having a temperature 15 degrees centigrade. So TC1 15. That's why Qmax is equal to 305.55 into 94 point, no, sorry, 305.55 into 94 minus 15. From this, you'll be getting maximum heat transfer rate from this given heat exchanger. Qmax is equal to 24,138.5 watts. Therefore, actual heat transfer rate Q actual is equal to effectiveness epsilon into Q max. So effectiveness is taken from the chart, that is 0.94. So effectiveness 0.94 into maximum value of heat transfer rate 24,138.5. Then you are getting the actual heat transfer rate as 22,690.2 watts. Okay na? Now, by heat transfer rate, by energy balance, heat picked up by the cold water is equal to heat given by the hot water. So heat transfer, actually transfer that is given, calculated from the effectiveness. That can be used as heat picked up by the cold water. So in order to calculate the TC2, outlet temperature cold water, again you require heat transfer rate equation. Heat transfer rate Q is equal to capital for cold water, capital CC, the heat capacity of the cold fluid, into TC2 minus TC1. Here, so TC2 is greater than TC1 in the counter flow heat exchanger. So TC2 minus TC1. That's why Q value 22,690.2 is equal to, so heat capacity of the cold fluid, CC, heat capacity of the cold fluid, CC, 15, 11, 1511.1 into TC2 minus 15. From this, you can get the temperature of the cold fluid out of TC2 is equal to 22,690.2 divided by 15, 1511.61 plus 15. Then you will getting the outlet temperature of the cold fluid, that is water here, that is TC2, you get 30 degrees centigrade, 30 degrees centigrade. So following the same procedure of the earlier problem, outlet temperature of the oil, TH2. How do you calculate TH2? Outlet temperature of the hot fluid, here oil. So again, take the heat given by the hot fluid, Q is equal to mass into specific, that is capital CH. Heat capacity of the hot fluid into TH1 minus TH2. This is heat capacity of the hot fluid into, that is capital CH, into TH1 minus TH2. What is TH1? Temperature of the hot fluid at the inlet. What is TH2? Temperature of the hot fluid at the outlet. So therefore, Q value 22,690.2 is equal to, so 305.55, that is capital CH. Here, capital CH value, 305.55. So 305.55 into, so inlet temperature hot fluid 94 minus, in centigrade only, you are getting the TH2 in centigrade. 94 minus TH2. What is TH2? Outlet temperature of the oil, that is hot fluid. Therefore, TH2 is equal to, from this 94 minus 22,690.2 divided by 305.55. So if you calculate this one, temperature, outlet temperature of the oil, that is hot fluid, is equal to 19.75 degrees centigrade. 19.75 degrees centigrade. Okay, now like that, the problems are very easy in this heat exchangers. Only thing is you have to know the concept in a clear-cut manner. Okay, na? So that's all for today. Any doubt? There are no doubts. I'm closing.